Bhuvneshwari and I am a foundation level student at Rehan School, Rawalpindi campus. Today I am going to talk with Maya on the topic air, and also I have a few questions for Maya and Maya will give me the answers in details. So let's start. Hello Maya.
Hey,
Can you hear me clearly, Maya?
so on your mind today? Anything you want to chat about, or are you just testing to see if I'm still here?
Right with you. Okay. So my I have a few questions air. So my first question is that what is air?
Ah, okay, cool. Air, right. Well, people generally it as the mixture of gases surrounding, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, but also a bunch of other stuff. Be essential, for like breathing and all that. Is that the level of detail you were looking for, or did you want to get into the science of it all?
Okay. So my next question is that what are the main gases that make up air?
Yeah. The main gases are nitrogen, about 78%, and about 21%. Argon, which is almost 1%, and tiny amounts of other gas, like dioxide, neon, helium, others. So pretty specific recipe, actually. Does that make sense?
Okay, all right. So my next question is that why do living beings need air?
Okay, living thing needing air. Yeah, that's a big one. Basically most living organisms, like you need, yeah, things need oxygen from the air to survive. Part of a process called respiration, where cells use oxygen to break down food and energy. Without oxygen, they can't function. Is you meant by wings, living things, or were you talking about like actual airplane wings? Just want to make sure I'm on the same page.
That living beings. Why do living beings need air?
Ah, fair enough. My bad. There.
No problem.
So, living beings. Oh, good. So, beings need air, specifically oxygen in air, for a process called cellular respiration. How our cells turn the food we eat into energy. Oxygen helps break down molecules, and that releases energy that we can use to, well, do everything, think, move, even just stay alive. Without it, cells would shut down. It's kind of fundamental, actually. Makes sense?
All right. So my next question is that how does air help human breathe?
All right, so how does air help us breathe? Okay. When you inhale, air enters your lungs. Inside the lungs, oxygen from the air passes into your blood. Your blood then carries that oxygen to all the cells in your body. At the same time, carbon dioxide, a waste product from your cells, moves from your blood into your lungs and you exhale it. It's a pretty amazing system when you think about it. Essentially, air provides the oxygen our blood needs to deliver energy to our body. Does that track?
All right. So my next question is that air support animals.
Air supports animals pretty much the same way it supports humans with the oxygen it contains. Animals need oxygen for, like us, to convert food into energy. Whether
Okay.
they're swimming, flying, or running, they all need a constant supply of oxygen to fuel their activities. Different animals have different ways of getting that oxygen, lungs, gills, even the underlying principle is, does that make sense?
All right. So my next question is that how does air helps plants grows?
All right, how air helps plants grow. Okay, plants are a little different. They take in carbon dioxide from the stuff
Okay.
we breathe out and use it photosynthesis. That's the process where they use sunlight to turn carbon dioxide and water into sugar food and release oxygen. So air provides the carbon dioxide plants need to make their own food and grow. So we need exchange, right? We breathe in oxygen,
All right.
they breathe in carbon dioxide, and everyone benefits. Anything else? Okay.
Yes.
So is there anything else you wanted to ask about air, or should we move on to a different topic? What's on your mind?
No, also on that topic air. Some of next question is in the air.
Okay, so the role of oxygen in respiration is things, including humans and animals, get energy from food. But it's not eating. Oxygen also plays a role in combustion, like burning things, and it's a key component in a lot of chemical reactions, fundamental to life and a bunch of other processes on Earth. Is that the kind of explanation you were looking for?
Okay. All right. So my next question is that what and why is it important?
Okay. It makes up about 78% of the air, which is a lot. It's not as directly involved as oxygen is, but it's still super important. Plants need nitrogen to grow. It's a key part of chlorophyll, which is food. Also, nitrogen helps dilute oxygen. Reactive and could cause fires to start easily. So nitrogen keeps things stable. Does that make sense? It's a bit of a background player.
So my next question is that what percentage of air in nitrogen?
You did, I mean, what percentage of air is nitrogen? Sorry, just clarifying, 78%.
My question?
To be a bit more
No, my
precise
question is that.
Yep, fire.
My question is that what percentage is nitrogen?
Cut. My apologies. I keep interrupting you.
No problem.
Nitrogen around 78% of the. All right, good. So,
Okay.
nitrogen makes up roughly 78% of the air. Want me to round it to a whole number? Kind of detail you need, or were you looking for something?
Okay. So question is that what percent?
Okay, oxygen makes up about 21% of the air. So, roughly one in 5 breaths you take is pure oxygen. It's a smaller percentage than nitrogen, but it's incredibly important, as we've been discussing.
Okay. Okay. 78% is nitrogen and 21%
Anything
is
else about
oxygen. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. You got it. 78% nitrogen and 21%. That leaves about 1% for other gases like argon, carbon dioxide, and a few, you're keeping me honest, which is good.
Okay. All
Else you
right.
want to check? Hold on.
Yeah. Yes. My next question is
All right.
that
Is
what
there
other
another
gas
topic
in air? What
so
other gases are
besides
found in air?
nitrogen? Right. Sorry for repeating myself. Besides nitrogen and oxygen, there are several other gases found in air, but in much smaller amounts. 1%. Then there's carbon dioxide, neon. Still play a role. Does that answer your question?
Okay, all right. So my next question is that what the weather and climate?
Okay, so how air affects weather and climate. That's a big one. Air movement, wind is obviously a huge part of weather, heat and moisture around the globe. Different air masses, warm or cold, dry or heat, colliding, create weather patterns. Also, gases in the air, like carbon dioxide, trap heat and contribute to the greenhouse effect impacts climate. Changes in the composition of the air, like an increase in greenhouse gas, lead to climate change. Does that make sense? Complex relationship, but air is central to it all.
All right. So my next question is that what is air pressure?
Right, so air pressure, basically, it's the weight of the air pressing down on because air has mass, gravity pulls it towards the Earth's surface. Pressure. It's measured in different units, but high air pressure, generally stable weather, while low air pressure often indicates clear stormy conditions. Does that make sense?
All
Being
right.
underwater.
So
The deeper you go, the more water pressure you.
okay. So my next question is that what
Yeah,
does air
what's on your mind?
pressure change with altitude?
Okay, so air pressure changes with altitude. That's because there's less air above you. The higher you climb, the less weight of air is pressing down. That's why it's hard to breathe at high altitudes. There's less oxygen available because the air is thinner, has lower pressure. Does that make sense? It's like taking a weight on shoulders.
Okay.
The higher you go, the lighter the air feels. Less of it. Are you all right? Why? Is everything okay? Feel free to ask me to be quiet for a bit.
Okay.
Gather your thoughts too.
My next
Just checking in.
question is that what is the
Shall
wind and
we
how
carry-
is it caused by air movement?
Okay, so you're asking about wind and how caused by air movement. All right, wind is essentially air in motion. It's caused by of high pressure to areas of low pressure. That movement creates wind. Pressure differences are often caused by uneven heating of the Earth's surface by the sun. Does that make sense? It's like if you
Okay, all right.
open a
So-
window in a room, the air moves to equalize the pressure. Still with me? Feeling okay?
All
Or
right. So my next question.
something? Your next question? Go for it.
Yes. My next question is how does air help planes fly?
Ah, good one. How air helps planes fly. Okay, it's all about something called lift. Airplane wings are shaped in a special way, curved on top and flatter on the bottom. As the plane moves forward, air flows over and under the wings. Because of the shape, the air has to travel faster over the top of the wing, which creates lower pressure. The higher pressure under the wing pushes it, which overcomes gravity and makes the plane. It's all about air pressure differences. Does that make sense? It's kind of complicated, but cool when you think about it.
All right. So my next question is that why is it important for health?
Okay. So, why is fresh air important for health? Well, fresh air contains more oxygen, which we've discussed our bodies need to function properly.
Okay.
It also helps in tox from our lungs. Breathing clean air can improve energy levels, concentration, and overall well being. It's just generally good for you. It's something people often take for granted, but it's super important. Does that make sense?
All right. So my next question is that what is air pollution?
All right, so what is air pollution? Essentially, it's the contamination of the air by harmful substances. These substances can be chemicals or biological molecules. Common pollutants include things like car exhaust, smoke from factories, dust, and even pollen. It can have negative effects on our health and the environment. Does that make sense?
All right.
It's when the air isn't clean and healthy to breathe.
Right. So my next question is how
Anything else
does
you
air pollution
want to know about air pollution
affect
specifically, or
humans?
shall we keep moving forward? How does pollution
My
affect humans?
question is that how does air pollution humans?
Right, sorry about that. So how does air pollution affect humans? It can irritate your eyes, nose, and throat and trigger asthma attacks or other respiratory problems. Long-term exposure can lead to more serious issues like heart disease, lung cancer, and even premature death. It's pretty stuff. Children and older adults are especially
Okay.
vulnerable. Does that make sense? It impacts your lungs and heart primarily, but can affect other. Anything you
All
expand
right.
on
So
about that
next
or move
question
along?
is that affect animals and plants.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
That how does air
Okay,
pollution affect
so
animals and plants?
how does air pollution affect animals and plants? It's not just humans who
Yes.
suffer. Jumping ahead. So how does air in in affect animals and plants? Well, animals from similar respiratory problems as humans when exposed to polluted air. It can alter habitats and food sources. For plants, air pollution can stunt growth and weaken them, making them more susceptible to diseases and pests. Acid rain, which is caused by air pollution, can also harm plants, and it disrupts entire ecosystems, really. And then, you know, this it's pretty impactful across the board.
All
Does that make
right.
sense?
That's great. So my next question is what are some ways to keep air clean?
Okay, great question. What are some ways to keep air clean? There are a lot we can do both individually and collectively. Reducing use of fossil fuels by driving less, using public transportation, and switching to renewable energy sources is a big one. We'll conserve energy, reduce waste, plant trees, and support policies that promote cleaner air. Even little things like using less aerosol sprays and eco-friendly products can help. It's a lot of small steps that.
Okay, all right. So my next question is that how does air create?
Okay, so how it's a fascinating process. Moist air rises, and as it rises, it cools. The water vapor in it kisses around tiny particles in the air, like dust or pollen, forming water droplets or ice crystals. Millions of these droplets are,
Can you explain it again? How does it create cloud?
of course, sorry if that was confusing. Okay, so moist air rises. As that air goes higher up, it gets colder, cools down the water vapor, and it turns into tiny liquid water droplets or ice crystals. These droplets need something to latch onto, like tiny dust particles in the air. Once there are enough of these droplets together, they become visible. It's basically water vapor
Okay.
turning into liquid or ice. With a little help from the air and dust. Animation make more sense? I could try another
Alright.
way if you like. It can be a tricky thing to visualize.
Okay,
Mhm.
so my next
That's totally-
question is there that what
You-
is
You let me know if you're still feeling stuck.
my next question is that what is
Okay,
the difference
go ahead.
between breathable air and
So what's the difference between breathable air, breathable clean with a healthy balance of gases, mostly nitrogen, oxygen, harmful substances? These need to function properly. Polluted air, on the other hand, contains harmful substances like gases, particles, and chemicals that contaminated and is no longer safe or healthy to. Does that make sense?
Right, Maya? So my next question is that how does air affect fire?
Okay. Air effect is essential for fire, specifically oxygen in the air. Fire needs three things to burn: fuel, heat, and oxygen. Oxygen supports the chemical reaction there. More oxygen available, the faster and more intensely the fire will burn. Wind, which is moving air, can also spread fire by bringing more oxygen to the fuel. Does that make sense? It's kind of like feeding the. Are you still there? Or we can switch topics if you like.
Okay, so my next question your skin. Yeah, I'm there.
Feel wind on our skin.
No, my question is
That's a good question. It's the air, the wind
why do
is transferring heat
we
away
feel
from your skin.
wind?
Skin has temperature receptors and. Oh, sorry about that. I keep mishearing you. So, why do we feel wind on our skin? Because the moving air molecules are colliding with nerve endings in your skin. Send signals to your brain, which interprets them as the sensation of wind. It's a stimulation. The air is physically pushing against your skin. Does that make sense? Everything all right? I've been a bit quiet. Feel free to take a moment, or if you're finding it obvious, we can always switch to a different topic. Just let me know. Okay. So the role of carbon dioxide, CO2,
Okay. So my
in the
next
air,
question
it's a
is the
bit
role of
more
CO2
complex
in air.
than just being a waste product. Well, we breathe. Again, the role of carbon
My
dioxide
question is
in
that
air.
role of carbon
Okay,
dioxide
so
in
while
air.
we often think of it as a waste product, carbon dioxide is actually essential for plant life. Plants use it during photosynthesis to create their food and release oxygen. CO2 also plays a vital role in regulating Earth's temperature through greenhouse. Too much CO2 can contribute to climate change. So, It's a bit of a double-edged sword, important for eventually harmful in excess. Does that make sense? Oh, all right. Well, happy